Call the regular meeting on December 16, 2024 to order. Ask Tina Carnes if she would lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Gina. We start down our agenda here. We're going to move one section around. We'll do the meeting minutes and the bills, and then we'll go into to the planning and zoning portion of it. First off, approval of the regular meeting minutes from December 2nd, 2024.
I move we approve the minutes.
I'll make a second.
Motion by Denny, second by Gina. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Next up is approval and ratification of bills.
Before we do that, I have a comment, question, something.
Okay.
I noticed the IDC contract services for $4,000. My understanding is that goes to a contractor once a month, not the $4,000, $2,000 a month. And I know I've asked publicly, I've asked privately, I've tried to get the minutes, I've tried to get somebody to show up here to tell us who they are, what do they do. So I would suggest that the city and the county contract that individual themselves, if that's still feasible and they can prove that they're doing their worth for the money.
Yeah. And that is Richie Sanders is the person that they pay to do that. Personal experience, Richie does a decent job. There's several things that he's brought to him concerning business, possibly locating in the city or the county. And just to be honest, right now, property-wise, we don't have a lot to offer to someone that would want to relocate into the county, an industry or businesses of any size. But I do have, and I've got it on my desk, I forgot to bring it in here, I do have a list of all the people that are on that commission. I can get Lori to make some copies of that before we leave tonight and give to y'all if you'd like. I think a lot of this is kind of a work in progress. And I'll just kind of leave everything at that for now. But we should be, honestly, most meetings I go to, I'm usually the only mayor around. Most of it, especially in the TVA realm and things like that, most everybody there is an economic development person. And I think that's probably something we probably need to work toward more so in the long run. So, like I say, I think there's obviously there's improvements all around that we could all do, and I think those people are looking to improve too. But they are not really associated with the city or the county. They're kind of their own entity. They are supported by the city and the county and a couple more entities. But I'm certain if you wanted to come to a meeting or address them or something like that, you'd be more than welcome.
Do they meet at the same time? And what day and what time?
I'd have to look and make sure. I'm not sure. The next meeting will be in January, and I'll have to look and see what. It's generally like a second Tuesday or a third Tuesday. I'm not sure, to be honest with you. So we usually get an email from Carmella a week or so before the meeting, but I can find that out for you.
I'll ask Carmella.
Okay.
Mayor, if I could,
Yes.
I think Richie does do a pretty good job for the IDC. I mean, I know him and I know the stuff he's been involved with. Been a lot of meetings with him. I think I agree with Gina though on the IDC. I just don't see that we're getting anything for the money that we're spending, and we're spending a lot of money.
Yeah.
And if they can't even come in here to explain to us, you know,
Yeah.
what's on their agenda and what they're looking at, I know Gina and I are getting off, but my opinion is maybe don't have any more funding other than Richie's. We could do Richie's separately,
Yeah.
but not fund him anymore until they can maybe show some
Yeah.
At least show this city council what we're getting for our money. I mean, they
Yeah.
don't even, won't tell
Well-
us. Maybe we all just stop funding.
I was going to address some of this at the end of the meeting, but this seems like a good time to segue into it. There's been a lot of talk in the community and other places concerning the decisions made by Bell Cheese last week. I will say this, we've met extensively with them, and they assured us that there was nothing that anybody could do to reverse this. Just historically, I will say, 2 years ago, the IDC gave Bell Cheese a 7-figure forgivable loan with the stipulation that they stay here 10 years. That didn't move the needle for them. The covenant made with them was to maintain at least 255 employees full-time. And we were told by local management of Bell Cheese, this came straight from France, from the main office. So there was, we pointedly asked them, is there anything that we could have done as a city, a county, industrial development, anywhere to have avoided this? He said, no. It's a conversation that had been going on for some time. A few years earlier, going back a few more years, Bell Cheese had ideas of expansion. At that time, the city bought some property in order to allow them to do that. The city still owns that property. We had been told back some time ago that operation had been scrubbed. So we realize the value of Bell Brands in the city of Leitchfield. They've been a perfect community neighbor. Any of us have been to any functions around, see them there. They give away a lot of product. They bring their mascot. You know, they were a good community neighbor, and they were satisfied here. But the main office saw it differently, and that's okay. Adam?
Mayor, if I may, just from a manufacturing point, the world's turned upside down. You know, we've got Plasticon, well, now ABC Technologies. We had to sell out to a corporate entity. As far as, you know, Bell Brands, I'm not sure of what they had going on, but it's a tough time for a lot of different people, and it's hard to understand what's going on at their executive level, also at ABC Technologies, also maybe at some of the other facilities we have going on around here. So just talk to them, see if we can get them to stay, and I do know that there's a lot of outside influence that is completely out of the city's hands, the county's hands, or maybe nobody can do nothing. So I just wanted to bring that up.
Okay. I appreciate you saying that. And like I say, there's been a lot of question in the community, what we could have done, or what we did do, or what we didn't do. I think we've done our due diligence in this area. We're not going to win every game. You know, we're not going to win every time. So maybe that will answer some questions from the community. Let's move on now. Second and final reading of ordinance amending ordinance 09
We still need to,
Okay, we didn't do it.
I'll make a motion to accept the bills.
Sorry. Motion by Billy,
second.
second by Terry. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you, guys. Now, let's move down to second and final reading of ordinance amending ordinance 09-199, Article 1.8, to incorporate the definitions and land use regulations relating to medical cannabis. Erling?
Whereas the City of Leitchfield, by ordinance number 2024-27, enacted an ordinance allowing cannabis business operations in the City of Litchfield Whereas after publication and public hearing, the Litchfield Planning Commission has recommended its own ordinance text change to address cannabis businesses is now allowed to operate pursuant to ordinance number 2024-27 adopted by the city of Litchfield. Now therefore be it ordained by the city of Litchfield, Kentucky, that ordinance 2009-199 enacted on the 19th day of July 1999 and last amended by ordinance 2021-20 passed on the 20th day of December 2021 be amended as follows, with added portions being underlined and deleted portions being indicated by a line drawn through them and encompassed by brackets enclosing them. The following is a summary of said amended ordinance: that Article 1-2 or 1-8 related to definitions be amended to incorporate definitions and land use regulations related to medical cannabis businesses. Article 3 is hereby amended to add Article 3.8.16 medical cannabis business permitted zones, regulations, and uses. A true copy of said amendments are attached hereto and made a part hereof by reference as if set out in full. And this is a second reading.
Okay. So I'll entertain a motion and a second, and then we'll have a roll call.
I make a motion to accept it.
Motion by Tootie. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Terry. Denny?
Aye.
Gina?
Aye.
Tootie?
Aye.
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 Thank you.
Mayor, if I could interrupt, I promise you that I will not interrupt you at any more meetings after tonight.
All right.
Liar.
But I would like to make a motion to maybe refer this ordinance back for amendment to the text change. We talked about doing the maybe 200 feet distance. I know there's 1,000 feet distance for the schools and daycares. I would like to amend it back with the planning and zoning, maybe consider a 200-foot restriction as far as next to churches or houses of worship, I guess would be a better description of it. That they cannot put one next to any existing church. Doesn't mean that if they put one and a church moves there, then that's different, but not to have any within 200 feet of any existing church.
Okay. Discussion, guys?
I think we agreed on that, didn't we?
Thought so.
I was thinking we did, but
I'll second.
I got the motion by Denny, second by Billy. So do we need to rescind the first vote,
No.
Early?
No.
No,
Okay.
I would keep that in place because there's some deadlines.
Yeah.
And then they can send that back and they can, if they want to make that modification, it'll come back through a recommendation, then you'll vote on it at that time.
Okay. All right, so I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed?
Nay.
Okay. Next up, request for zoning map amendment RZ-24-135, 316 Bevel Drive, and 503 Decker Lane change from R2, single family medium density, to R2A, single family high density. Erling? Tyler?
I can read it. Is there any questions on this before we read it?
Well, I didn't know if you wanted to go over the recommendation
Okay.
like we normally do.
So we had a public hearing for the application for zoning map amendment filed by Charles White, being located at 316 Bevel Drive and 503 Decker Lane. Excuse me. The hearing was held on Monday, November 18th, 2024. All members of the planning commission were present. Zoning administrator presented the application, and it's incorporated herein. Excuse me. And recommended approval. The planning commission discussed this matter in detail and found that the request for the zoning map amendment should be granted. The planning commission noted that the request is in agreement with the City of Litchfield Comprehensive Plan, Chapter 4. Planning commission unanimously approved the rezone request and recommends and requests that the Litchfield City Council approve their recommendation to change the zoning classification from R-2 single family medium density to R-2A single family high density.
Yeah, we haven't voted on it.
We'll need to take a vote to accept that recommendation if we want to move forward on it at this time, and then we
Okay.
can do a first reading.
All right, we'll entertain a motion to accept that.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Gina, do I have a
Second.
second? Second by Denny. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right.
An ordinance amending and adopting an amended zoning map entitled Zoning Map Litchfield, Kentucky by changing the district classification of the property located in Litchfield, Kentucky as hereinafter described from R-2 Single Family Medium Density to R-2A Single Family High Density. Whereas the Litchfield Planning Commission of Litchfield, Kentucky on December 9th, 2024 held a public hearing on application number RZ-24-135. The property is currently owned by Charles White and is designated as a property having a PVA number 083-06-03-157 and 083-06-03-157.0A, being more particularly described in Deed Book 528, page 518, records of the Grayson County Clerk's Office, and being located at 316 Bevel Drive and 503 Decker Lane, Litchfield, Kentucky. The request asks for a change from R-2 Single Family Medium Density to R-2A Single Family High Density. And whereas City Council members conducted a review of the record and evidence presented before the Litchfield Planning Commission, and its recommendation is that the zone map amendment be approved as affects this property. Its recommendation is attached and incorporated herein by reference. And now therefore be it ordained by the City of Litchfield, Kentucky as follows: boundaries of the district as shown on district map entitled Zoning Map Litchfield, Kentucky, be and same is hereby amended for reasons adopted, all of which is made a part hereof is fully set out herein, including the rezoning request from the Planning Commission dated 12/9/2024 to the Litchfield City Council, so the property is described as follows. Property description. Refer to property description PVA number 083-06-03-157 and 083-06-03-157.0A. Deed Book 528, page 518, records of the Grayson County Clerk's Office, and being located at 316 Bevel Drive and 503 Decker Lane, Litchfield, Kentucky 42754, now zoned R-2A Single Family High Density after the adoption of this ordinance.
Okay, so it's a first reading, so we have no action at this time, Craig. All right, next up, amendment to ordinance 09-199, amendment to Article 1.8 definitions in Article 3.
An ordinance of the City of Leitchfield, Kentucky, amending ordinance number 09-199 as previously amended by amending Article 1.8 definitions to incorporate the definitions and land use regulations relating to a condominium, and amending Article 3 of the zoning ordinance to provide for permitted uses in certain zones related to a condominium. After publication and public hearing, the Litchfield Planning Commission has recommended a zone ordinance text change to address a condominium. Now therefore be it ordained by the City of Litchfield, Kentucky as follows. That ordinance 09-199 is previously amended, commonly known and referred to as the zoning ordinance for the City of Litchfield, Kentucky, is hereby amended by amending Article 1.8 definitions to incorporate definitions and land use regulations related to a condominium, and deleting condominiums from the multifamily structure definition, and amending Article 3 to add to Article 3.8.4C and Article 3.8.4.1C condominiums. A true copy of said amendments are attached hereto and made a part hereof by reference as if set out in full. All ordinances and parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, to the extent of such conflict only, are hereby repealed. This ordinance shall be in full force and effect from and after its adoption, readoption, publication as required by law. It is hereby authorized that publication of this ordinance be in summary form.
Okay. That being a first reading, we'll take no action tonight. Next up is approval of the October 2024 financial statement.
Make a motion, we accept it.
Motion by Gina to accept.
Second.
Second by Denny. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, next up is Tax Appeals Board appointment. Current appointment for William Buddy Brooks ends on 12/31/2024. This position is not eligible for reappointment. The new term for the new appointment will be 1/1/2025 through 12/31/2027. My recommendation at this time is to ask Billy Dallas if he would serve on that board. They
Yeah.
generally meet once a year
Yes, sir.
if they have that. So Billy, you willing to do that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'll entertain a motion to to accept Billy being on that board.
I'll make a motion, Billy, to be on that board.
Motion by Gina.
Second.
Second by Tootie. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
All right.
Got something for you, Danny.
I don't think you know what you're getting into. I'm just looking after your best interest, Councilman.
All right. Unfinished business, we have planning and zoning and BOA openings. We have, remind me, Tyler, who's going where?
Yeah.
All right, so we've got Trent Van Meter and Angela Gibson for the Planning Commission, Teresa Clemens and Adam Williams for Board of Adjustments.
Okay.
Say it one more time, Tyler.
Trent Van Meter, Angela Gibson will be on the Planning Commission, Teresa Clemens and Adam Williams on the Board of Adjustments.
Is that one vote or we need to vote separate?
I would vote separately because then you don't know who you're
Understand.
not accepting or not, so I would do them individually.
So Trent and Angela on planning and zoning.
Yes.
I'll make that motion.
I would still do them individually because if you don't.
Oh, okay.
That way
Does it make-
somebody.
does it- 'cause if-
Oh, okay.
Somebody's
I'll make a
in
motion,
there.
Angela.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I make a motion for Trent Van Meter.
All right, have a second.
I'll second it.
Second by Tootie. All in favor?
Aye.
Make a motion for, oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Make a motion for Adam Williams.
Okay.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
I'll make a motion for Teresa for
Okay.
Board of Adjustments.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you guys for being willing to serve.
Serve.
If I can interrupt again, Mayor, since this is my last meeting, I think we're lucky to have you guys. I think the quality of the people applying was outstanding, and I think you'd be a great asset to the city and represent the city well. And I won't be here, but I want to thank you guys for doing this. I think you all do a great job, and I think we're really lucky to have the quality of people we have.
I agree with
Absolutely.
Denny, and we just learned his character because he wasn't going to interrupt no more.
Thank you all. Any other unfinished business, Billy?
No, sir.
Terry?
No.
Tootie?
No, sir.
Gina?
No.
Danny?
You know I'm going to, Mayor, since this is my last meeting. Before I leave, Wes, I forgot to tell you, don't forget we got shrubbery at Barton Cemetery that are due us, and I may not be here to give you a hard time about it, but we've already paid for it, so just... Barton Cemetery. And also, as far as, I guess this is kind of old business too, regarding the recreation center, I know I've had some calls about losing Bell Cheese, how that's going to impact it. And honestly, I think we need it now more than ever. I think it'd be an asset to the community to have something like that. So, and I've talked to you about it, Mayor, and I know you're supporting it too, but I just think it's a good idea if we could maybe push forward to it.
I agree.
That's all. Thanks,
That's
Mayor.
it?
That's it.
Okay. Lori, unfinished business?
I did mention, and I've got it under other, but, I had a Zoom meeting with, Sarah from GoGov, and we are now up to 506 downloads, so I think we're progressing in the right way. And she actually gave me an email link that we can put on our website that they hadn't provided, so, I'm gonna get that put on there. And in case some of you all haven't noticed on the app, when you click on city website, it goes to a blank page, but if you turn your phone sideways, it's there. So I gotta get with Heather and figure out what we need to do to get that working right, because Brian Langdon brought it to our attention. And I had a meeting with GoGov, and she's like, we've seen this before. She said, more than likely, if you turn your phone sideways, it's there. And sure enough, it's there. So I need to figure out with Heather when I have a meeting with her. I sent her an email this morning, so hopefully we'll be able to get that fixed and get that link for anybody that wants to at least get emails when we send out notifications on the app. So That's all I have.
Okay. Earlene?
No.
Wes? David? Okay. We'll run on to new business. Approval for mayor to execute a streetlight contract with Kentucky Utilities for 2 lights at Fountain View Springs and 1 on Hardin Street. We were talking about this today. Once the state does their work for the roundabout at 62 and the bypass, we will lose a couple of streetlights. Actually, I will say we'll lose them. We won't have to pay for them anymore. The state will take those over. So hopefully, I'm not sure, I think 2 is all that's down there. Does that sound right, Wes? Yeah, I think so. So this would really be just us adding 1 to the whole system. And the Hardin Street, I don't know if you guys have been over there lately and looked around. Developers doing a good job over there, making it nice, and they're just wanting a street light there. Out in Fountain View, we've been working on this for a long time, and looks like we might finally get to fruition. There were right-of-way issues and things like that, but this may get us, we may be able to actually get it done this time, so. All right. Second by Terry, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Mayor, I have a question. What is the magic number for KU to come down and fix their streetlights? How many do we have to have out?
I don't know what
Or
that number is.
non-functioning?
It's usually several, they wait until they get several. I may be able to address that with them. I've got to call them this week about a pole that needs retiring and everything, so I may try to get some answer on that. and
That would
see.
be really good,
Yeah.
because, I mean, we've got streetlights that have been not functioning correctly for 6, 8 months.
Yeah.
That have not been addressed.
Yeah.
And also, what are the chances of whenever they come and replace the light that is not working? Is there any chance they could put the LED lights in, or are they still gonna just continue putting those?
I think it probably depends, just my experience at Warren, probably depends on what's wrong with it. If the head's wrong, they'll probably change it to LED. If it's just the eye, they usually just change those. So really, I think everybody works close to alike. So I'd say probably depends on what actually is wrong with it.
Okay.
Okay. And also, there's a letter in the back of your packet explaining we received the safety liability grant check from KLC today in the amount of $3,000. And it gives you some information on there and some other places to look if you have any more questions about that.
Where does that 3,000 go? What can we use that for?
That $3,000 when I applied for that grant was toward our update to our personnel policy. So there was a list of things that we could use it for, so that's what I submitted, so.
How is that personnel policy?
We actually have a meeting. Michael Simon is coming Wednesday, probably be an all-day meeting, more than likely, at least way up until afternoon, to go over all the things that the council members, and the office staff that went through that come up with. So hopefully, I'm hoping maybe by February, we'll have that all set in place and hopefully be able to get that out to all the employees.
Okay. New business, Billy?
I would like to thank Denny and Gina and their families
Absolutely.
for putting your heart and soul into serving this community for us to progress forward. And I think you've really been an asset, both of you, to this community. And I appreciate what you do and appreciate where your heart's at. And I just want to personally thank you.
Thank you, Billy.
Thank you, Billy.
I agree, 100%.
We all agree, yes.
Terry?
No, I don't have any new.
Judy?
Don't have any new.
Gina? Danny?
No, sir.
Come on, Denny.
Oh, I do, if I could.
Go ahead.
I forgot to ask, Scotty, what's going on with the transfer station? I was up there the other day and had all this steel going on. It looked really, really neat.
The bulk of the steel is all up. It has some improvements on the back. That they're gonna have to wait for the ground to dry just a little bit more to get, and then they're gonna start hanging the steel on the sheets in the metal. We were hoping for frozen ground. That didn't happen, and so we're gonna have to wait for the ground to freeze before we'll be able to get through this in there to put the
Looks pretty good, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think it's great. They're doing a really good job.
It's coming a long way. Anything else, Denny?
No, sir, for the last time.
All right. Lord, Earlene, Wes.
I just want to say thank you all for all the sweets. It's about to waste away. Nothing. This is really going to help. I really appreciate it. Thank you all.
David. I just want to reiterate what Billy said and what we've all said. I appreciate Denny and Gina's time here. It's not a picnic, is it, Denny?
It is not.
A lot of responsibility and a lot of time involved, but I do appreciate y'all's willingness to serve, and hope to continue to see you serve in some capacity as we go on.
Thanks,
Thank
Mayor.
you.
All right, let's move to visitors now. Do we have any visitors that want to speak? Come on up, Jacob.
Good evening.
Hey.
I just have a couple questions, and it's not exactly related to the incident on June 6, 2024 with DJ Newton and Justin Cockrell, but it's something that came out of that regarding the handling of open records. Apparently there was body cam footage that was provided initially that several minutes had been redacted. And then the men that watched the footage, of course they were involved in the incident, realized it wasn't there. Then there was a second request done to get the full account of the body cam footage. So I think it's a very serious issue. It damages public trust. And I'd like to know, who's responsible for redacting this and what is going to be done about it.
That's the first I've heard about anything being redacted. David, can you shed some light on that, or?
Well, with Axon, there is no redaction. The only thing that we can redact is faces of people if it's people that is not involved in the actual incident. If people request a certain footage, then their faces are redacted. But the actual redaction does not redact actual footage.
Okay, maybe redaction was the wrong word. Are you saying then that the body cam footage was provided in its entirety initially, and that the second request was a mistake, or what are you saying
No,
there?
sir, I'm not saying anything about a mistake, but I know that the original footage can't be altered in any way through Axon.
So that all the minutes that were on the original footage was there the first time, is that what you're
Yes,
saying?
sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, thank
And
you.
if there's some question of that, that would be something to bring City Hall and let David look at it and deal with it.
We can
And
get you answers.
Yeah.
We can get you answers.
if there's a certain portion of it or something, I'm sure that they could be willing to go back through it and make sure that it all matched up.
Have you looked at it and think there's something they redacted or something?
Well, there was,
You personally?
me personally, I've seen the one that they finally got that had the entirety. But in the litigation, which I know you guys don't want to talk about the litigation, so I try to go around that. But in the litigation that is going on, that is something that has been brought up and it was done, is that they had to request it a second time. And the second time they requested it, then they requested everybody's footage, not just that one, because they seen that there were some things missing. So I would love for that to all be a big mistake and that didn't happen, and we don't have somebody deleting minutes or cutting footage. That would be the best case scenario.
Yes.
But anyway, if that's what's going on, that's a big serious issue. I guess everybody agrees.
Yes, sir.
If it turns out that's what's going on, that's a serious issue. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else? Tim? Anyone else? Guys, along with thanking Denny and Gina, I want to thank Tim and George also for having the the desire to come up here and be with us and help run the city. As Gomer Pyle would say, surprise, surprise, surprise. You know, a lot to it, but I think both of you will be a great addition to the city, and we appreciate you. Just want you to know that. Appreciate all of you that are here tonight. Wish we had a full room every night. That's what we would prefer. But is there anything else before we move on? Let me go through other real quick. There will be a Parks and Rec Committee meeting on January 6th at 5 p.m. The next chamber luncheon is Thursday, January 9th. That will be the city-sponsored luncheon, so if everyone can be there, it would be wonderful. Wouldn't you say, Lori?
Yep. I just need to know by January 6th.
Let Lori know by noon on January 6th if you plan on going. She gave the update on the GoGov app. Now I have 506 downloads, and they've also given me the following link to sign up by email to put on our website. So 500 is a good number, but we'd like to double or triple that if we can. So if anybody watching out there sitting here tonight doesn't have the city app downloaded, please do. There's a lot of ways to communicate with one another through that. It's beneficial to us as well as very beneficial to our citizens. So if there's no other thing to discuss, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Denny.
Second.
Second by Gina. All in favor? Thank you, guys.